Hello and welcome back to another season of My Small Hobby on the YouTube channel. Hi, my name is Tomo and today we're going to be doing another very exciting unboxing video of a very specific expansion kit for Titanic in 1/400 scale. Before we go to the unboxing video, I would like to say a couple of things regarding this channel. Over the summer, I've been doing a lot of thinking about where this channel is heading in the future. Now, I've done some polls on the channel and asked you through the videos what you would like to see most, and the overwhelming majority would be build videos, build videos, build videos, which is understandable. These are most common and most exciting to watch because we just like to look at other people making models, especially if those people who are making models are, well, good. I've been resisting putting these build videos up there because they're really time consuming and I'm only one man and it takes me a long time to edit a video from when it was shot to actually when it's gonna be released. And so I've been hesitant to go that route because making, review videos, it's easier and quicker for me to do, and I can do all 4 videos for every single week of the month in basically, let's say, 2 to 3 days. However, that has some negative side effects, and one of those is the viewing time. I've been taking a look at my channel and saw that the view count, although it's okay for the amount of viewers I have, is still a bit low. And I do admit that some of my reviews might have been or are a little bit on the low quality side, especially either with sound or presentation or just videography in general. So I'm gonna try to rectify this in the future videos that I'm gonna be making on the channel. So for this reason, this season on this channel, I'll be mainly focusing on build videos. I already have 2 or 3 projects going on right now that I'm going to share with you on a later date. But the reviews are not going to be coming as regularly because I have to make a choice whether or not to build or review. I'll still do reviews, but far less of them and more specific things, probably things that I'm going to be building in the future, or if something very spectacular comes into the shop and I really want to show you guys, that will be coming on the channel. Now, over the summer months, I've released a series of videos, actually a series of tutorial videos of the BF109 Messerschmitt, which you can totally check out there. And I've also released a build video of the Titanic in 1/400 scale that you can also check out here. The last project that I actually done in August was this little vignette. Maybe you can see it. I'm looking on a monitor up there of DS19 from Heller and with a lamp that's actually electrified. And let me just try to show you. It kind of works. There's a light, see, it's lighting up. I have video footage of me assembling this and I'm still at 2 minds whether or not to show it or release it because this whole build was more or less practice for something bigger in the future, and I'm not really happy with the way it turned out, mainly because I was really sloppy at the end, especially on the bottom side. Look at that, this is crazy. See the footage. If it's good enough, I'll release it. If not, well, we'll do this again because I ordered another one of these and I'll probably be reworking something like this again. But it's been an interesting learning experience, so that's the last project of the summer for me. That's what I briefly wanted to talk about. Today's unboxing video is a little bit special because it relates to my previous build video of Titanic, and it's a upgrade kit for a Titanic, but this time Academy's or better yet Airfix's Titanic, which are basically the same. These 2 kits were released 10 years ago. Academy first and then 2 years later Airfix. And they are absolutely gorgeous kits. Now, we're not going to be taking a look at those particular model kits because you can find videos online about these, but rather we're going to be taking a look at the expansions, the aftermarket parts that you can buy to enhance the level of detail on these 2 kits. One of these is FlyHawk set, which contains a ludicrous amount of Photoetch, resin, and brass parts, and wooden decks that really will give the Titanic that je ne sais quoi. Also, at the very end, we're going to be taking a look at some bonus additions and expansions, but for that, you'll have to watch the Unbox video. So, without any further ado, let's jump into the box and see what's inside. Hello and welcome to the review portion of the video. My name is Thomas, and today we're going to be taking a look at the RMS Titanic's upgrade kit from FlyHawk. This ludicrous upgrade kit is made for Academy's Titanic in 1/400 scale, but you can also use it for Airfix's Titanic in the same scale because it's basically a rebox version of Academy's Titanic. So yeah, if you happen to have one or the other, you can use this modification kit. But beware, this kit is really, and I mean really detailed. Some of the things in here are just mind-blowing, and if you're not prepared to go these deep into the rabbit hole of modifications, you are better off buying separate modifications on eBay or Amazon. They're a little bit tricky to get, but you can still get them. The reason that I bought this modification kit in the first place is because I was really disappointed in the quality of Revell's Titanic in the same scale, and if you watched my video you will understand why. Now it might look good on pictures and video, but in close-up shots, which I didn't do, it looks pretty much out of scale and not that great, to be honest. Nowadays you can buy a better version of this Titanic in 1/400 scale, and it's from Academy or Airfix. These are identical because one is rebox of the other. And even though Airfix's Titanic is, by today's standards, an old model kit, the molds from which it's made are absolutely fantastic, and to be honest, this upgrade kit is total overkill. However, having said that, even though this Titanic is much younger, it has its own quirks and problems, and two most notable oversights which we will cover in this video. Overall, this FlyHawk's upgrade kit contains over 1,000 pieces that you will have to assemble from various different materials such as resin, brass, and balsa wood. Every single piece in this set has its purpose, and it's far better than the original. Well, that's the point anyway. And I'll show you comparisons of the original and the modified version, so you'll have a better idea and understanding of what this modification kit offers and if it's for you or not. Because if you're going to shell out this amount of money for an upgrade kit, you better use every single piece of it, otherwise it's just a waste of time and money. And if by this point you're asking yourself how much this upgrade kit costs, without VAT or tax, it's 105 euros. With that dramatic transition out of the way, let's take a look at the lifeboats. And this is the original lifeboat that you get in the kit. And it's not bad, actually, it's good. But take a look at the one from FlyHawk. Not only that it's more detailed, but it's actually bigger. Like the scales on the Titanic have kind of warped. This is another example, the lifeboat that's on the side of the ship. And look at this. Again, it's bigger, it's much more detailed, and it doesn't have a cover. Quite a difference, isn't there? I know which one I would rather have. Now here's another example of, I think this is an air vent that's on the decks. In my humble opinion, this is the least important upgrade, but it's still there, and you can appreciate the complexity and the intricacies of the machinery that's on the Titanic. You can see the comparisons. It's different, of course it is, but compared to the lifeboats, it's a little bit underwhelming. Now here on the 4 scale deck on the front of the ship, there's a hatch, and this is how the hatch cover looks from the kit. And this is the FlyHawk version. Now that's a difference. Why the manufacturer didn't include this in the original part, I have no idea, but this looks a million times better. Now for this next one, I'm at two minds. These are the tie downs that you have to replace from the original, and this just might be a little bit ludicrous. If you don't like Photoetch parts, then look away, because this modification kit has a bazillion of them. I mean, really a lot. There are fences, benches, window frames, modifications to the exterior bulkheads, ladders, hoists, boom arms. I mean, there is so much stuff that I don't even know exactly what it is. And then of course there are modifications to the decks, which by the way are a very welcome addition, because this version of the Titanic has a big oversight in the front and back of the ship. I think they're called shelter decks, and they are totally missing from this version of Titanic. But oddly enough, if you have a Revell's version of Titanic, they are present, so go figure. You can see on the display here so many modifications and additions, like these are the hoists for the lifeboats that you have to assemble. And this is a process that's probably gonna take a while and a lot of nerves of steel and a very steady hand with no sneezing or shaking or, you know, drinking before assembly, because, you know, things go wrong. Now let me emphasize that the Titanic from Airfix or Academy right out of the box, it is fantastic. It really is. And when I saw it for the first time, I thought to myself, that's it, I have to have it. But because of the oversight and the wish to make the Titanic as best as I can, I went a little nuts and bought this expansion kit, so yeah. And here are the benches. Great, isn't it? And if you think this is nuts, well, check out these. Recliners. Yep, recliners. Here is a detailed boom arm from the crane on the Titanic, and it's not bad. It's really not bad. But this is Photoetch, and really you can't deny that it's better. Benches, you say? Not bad. Right out of the box, pretty detailed. Good, but by far the biggest difference that you can make to any ship is realistic wooden decks. And this modification set has all the decks for the whole Titanic laser printed on very thin strips of balsa wood that have a double-sided tape on the back. And apart from Photoetch, these are probably the biggest difference that you will make to any ship by far. Making a realistic wooden deck on ships is a holy grail of every scale model builder of ships. And not that the decks on the original Titanic are bad, not at all, but these are better. Every single kit comes with instructions, and this one is no different. Even though it's an upgrade part, the instructions are more of a, well, modification procedure, like here. And this is the most important one that you will make. On the front of the ship, there is a compartment missing from the original ship, and here, the shelter deck, I've already marked it out where it's supposed to be cut, and this is probably going to be the biggest tense surgical procedure that you're going to have to do on the model kit. And the same procedure has to be done on the back of the ship, right here where I marked it out with a pencil. You see that you have to cut these two squares out and put inside a special shelter compartment, which is supposed to be there, but it's not. The rest of the instructions basically tell you what you have to replace on the original to make it a little bit more realistic. But you need to pay close attention to the instructions because they're not exactly user-friendly. A lot of the times you're gonna get confused and you have to double check which part on which sprue or which Photoetch part to bend and where. For the most part, I think they're okay, but I haven't started building the ship yet, so I can't really tell you exactly. When I will be building this ship, I will no doubtly tell you exactly where the problems are, if there are any. But as it stands now, just note that when you get this expansion kit, take some time to study it properly. And I mean really properly. You have to be like a detective, going through every single piece with a fine-tooth comb, so you don't do any major mistakes, because you only get one shot at this. As far as I know, there are no spare parts apart from maybe the benches, because you probably don't need to build all of them, hopefully, but I might be mistaken, so don't hold me accountable for this statement. I'm only human after all. The complexity of instructions is amplified by the additional instructions, well, the revised instructions that you get with the kit, because apparently they made a mistake in the first one. And this sentence tells it best. Oh wait, there's more. from Master. This is not FlyHawk, this is a separate company that makes masts from brass for this Titanic. And these are, again, ludicrous. Just look at that. You have to assemble the 2 masts along with the flagpole and the observation nest on the first mast along with 2 bells. What can I say? I got carried away. But yeah, now you can see what you can actually buy for this Titanic if you want to spice it up a notch. They cost around 13-14 euros. With shipping I paid I think 18 or something like that. That's not that huge amount compared to the FlyHawk set, but still, every indulgence has its price. And on screen you're able to see the instruction manual how to assemble these 2 masts. And here is the comparison between the original and the brass. You can see that it's much finer, much thinner, and it's a little bit shorter than the one made from Airfix. Yeah, in the close-up shot you can see the bell here. And I'll show you, look at that. The brass bell is much smaller and much finer than the one provided with the Airfix kit, which I think it's a little bit more realistic. Oh yeah, there's more. Chains. You thought this one wasn't coming, but yes, you can buy this from Trumpeter. Technically, these chains are not exactly correct and to scale, but they're close enough to be present on a ship, so I'm gonna be including them. And here's a comparison, kit versus Trumpeter. What model wouldn't be complete without decals? These are the ones that you get with the kit. So stickers for the flags and decals for the hull. Not many, just Liverpool and Titanic, but you can get better one, Pettinghouse decals. And these are much like FlyHawk set, overkill. I mean, you have decals for everything, every single thing, even things that you're probably never gonna use. So just be aware. But these are not that expensive. I got them from Germany for around 16 euros plus shipping. Just look at them. They're beautifully printed, no bleeding of edges, no separation of colors. They are fantastic, which you might expect from somebody who's selling decal and only decals. So that's a good thing. How well they will be applying on the model, I don't know. But fun fact, when I ordered these, I actually received 1:350 scale. So they were very kind and they sent me the correct ones in post. So now I have 2. If anybody needs them, I can give them to you for free. You'll just pay for the shipping cost. These decals actually come with the instruction sheet, which is good, but it's not exactly great. I wish it would be a little bit more refined, so that you don't need to scratch your head where to put every single piece. Because as it stands, it's just a A4 paper with a minimalistic approach to instructing you. And you thought I was done, well not. This is Vallejo's latest release of Titanic's colors. These are supposed to be the true colors of Titanic's skin, and here is a comparison between 2 styrene pieces that I've painted with Titanic colors. The only difference is on top. The one on the left has the standard off-white paint, and the one on the right has the cream off-white from Vallejo. And you can see the difference in tone. The one on the right is much softer, much warmer than the one on the left. But I kind of prefer the one on the left. So I think I'm just gonna go for the standard white.
There you go, friends. Thank you so very much for watching if you have been. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll definitely see you soon next time. Bye bye.